So in order to start your business and actually see a level of success, you have to have a level of delusion that the average person does not have. They complain about the time they're working on building someone else's dream. They're complaining about the time they're not spending with the people who matter the most, like their family, their kids. They're complaining about having to get up and drive to work. They're complaining about all these things, but yet they're so afraid of failing at business. And in my opinion, they're failing at life. So many people talk about starting their business and they don't do nothing because they think it's sexy. It's sexy right now. Everybody's talking, especially in the social media world, everybody is talking about entrepreneurship and business owner, and everybody is showing their fancy cars and their fancy houses and all this funding they get. But that's not the reality. And the reason why it stops is because once you get over the fantasy, and then you realize you have to do the work and show up, and it's not as sexy and as glamorous as people put it, make it out to be on social media, most people stop. This is not the type of industry that you want to get into if you think it's going to happen overnight, because it's not. Or if you think that it's going to be something that is quick and requires less of you. In fact, entrepreneurship has been the most difficult experience of my life, but it's been the most rewarding. Entrepreneurship has been the most difficult, but also the most rewarding part of my life. And the reason why is because I had to leap out and step out on faith. And a lot of people don't understand that. This is not one of those things where you get to see the entire path. Like, you get one step. And then once you take that one step, the next step is gonna be revealed. So most people stop because they don't realize that it takes a different level and a different version of you that you have not met. And many people are still holding on to their same old life, saying they want a different life. It's just not making sense. So in order to start your business and actually see a level of success, you have to have a level of delusion that the average person does not have. And so I think a lot of people are relying on logic, and being an entrepreneur, you have to be illogical. And the reason why is because our system is for us to work. So if you think about exchanging time for money, and then you go out here and you decide to start a business, which nothing's guaranteed, money can be up and down, you don't know everything, especially if you have had no one to guide you through it, and yet you're out here saying, I want to make this my life. That is very illogical. I feel like a lot of people give up because they are trying to rationalize it, and this is not something that you can be rational about. You have to anchor to something that's greater. And I think most people are focused on money, and that is not enough. Like, money, if that is your main focus, then when you are on this journey and you have a dip or you make no money at all, you're going to give up, because now the driving force was money and that's gone. So it has to be something bigger, greater. And you also, I believe a lot of people give up because they don't have the understanding that you could have 100 losses and one win, and that win can be way more than 10 times more than those 100 losses. So when is the right time to start business? There is no right time. Sorry. It really is not a right time, you guys. Like, you could be doing other things. You could be, looking for another job. You will not have enough money. You will not have enough time. You will not have enough mentorship. Like, it's never a right time. So you just have to start. Even when I think about where I was 6 years ago, and people would say, like, just start. It's like, what does that mean? It's like, start at a conference, start at a networking event, do something that's different and outside of what you would normally do that could connect you with other entrepreneurs, or that can require you to do something. Take a training, hire a mentor, like, do something. That's the starting point. And honestly, there is never a right time. You just have to get out there and do it. For me personally, I really started to change my daily habits. And so one of those things, like I said, was listening to motivational speakers. And I listened to them so much that I started picking up on themes from them, like the things that they would say. All of them, I was listening to all of them, but there were like 5 common themes that all of them would say. It's like, read more, take inventory on your network, go out and attend events, step outside of your comfort zone, like do things that would really make you afraid or that you would normally do. So at some point I just started talking to people at the gym and the mall. Like that was one of my biggest challenges for me. I was like, I have to do better with connecting and like talking to people. Here's the thing, like, okay, so the difference between a bump in the road and a failure. The only difference between the two is you quit. That's it. I don't care how big the bump may appear. I don't care how scary it is for you. If you decide to keep going, then it is a bump. The minute you quit, it is an epic failure. This is something that I say all the time. I believe that the average entrepreneur who fails are the ones who quit, but that most of them quit right before something great could have happened for them, right? Because they've endured so much struggle and strife, and yet they give up. And that next step could have been the step that they took that could have transformed their lives and their businesses. And for me, when I am going through a struggle, I'm like, and I think about quitting all the time, by the way, full transparency every day. But the reason I don't is because I'm like, what if tomorrow? What if tomorrow? I cannot live with myself if tomorrow might be the day, or next week might be the day, the month, or the week, or next month might be the month. Like I can't be okay with giving up when I know that the win is on the way, right? And usually when I'm in that mindset, something happens, and I feel like it's God. It's like something, like I'll either get a sale or like get a call of something I've been anticipating for a long time. Like it's always something, and it's like, oh, I forgot about that. But I hang in there because I know that this is not an easy journey, but also I know it's not gonna happen the way I want it to happen. I think that if we repackage a lot of the way we look at this journey, first of all, not look at it as, I have to know every step, but also I need to know what I'm going to make, and I need to know this, but really look at what we are doing with our lives. I think the biggest failure for those who are considering entrepreneurship, who are employees, is that they are so miserable with their lives right now. They complain about the time they're working on building someone else's dream. They're complaining about the time they're not spending with the people who matter the most, like their family, their kids. They're complaining about having to get up and drive to work. They're complaining about all these things, but yet they're so afraid of failing at business. And in my opinion, they're failing at life. And I've been an entrepreneur for 6 years now. Actually, it'll be 6 years in February. I've been doing this for 6 years, and the difference between me and a lot of people is that mindset. Like, if nothing else, if I leave here tomorrow, I would not have any regrets. Even if I didn't get the $1 billion that I'm looking to achieve, I tried. I stepped out. I was daring. I was audacious. I was courageous. And I would still feel good, right? After it's done. But like, if I stayed at the job where, yes, I was making decent money, but I was miserable, that would be an epic failure over my life. So I think it's about perspective and how we package that.